Hello everyone, and today on the ERT Esports channel we have a bit of Nations Cup action, GR3 Bathurst with ERT Thunderstorm, myself racing today. Unfortunately, after a poor qualifying in which an incident happened on the fast lap, starting down in 12th position, but knowing there's enough pace for a much higher position, we'll have to see where we can end up at the end of this 9-lap race. As you can see, coming through the first corner, already right on the rear of the two guys ahead, side by side with TPF Pock. And now looking to try and make a move on that Madaman, possibly going up the inside into turn 2 as he's leaving that wide open. Looking up that inside line, braking a little bit later, and moving up into 10th position in only 2 corners. A brilliant little start there. And now having to look further ahead to try and catch up to the rest of the field. 9th place, a little bit further ahead after that, battling between 11th and 12th place. It's now just having to put the hammer down and seeing how quickly we can catch up to the back of the Italian ahead. This GR3 race around Bathurst, very interesting in that many people are using different types of cars. We have many Supras, Lexus, BMW, many different types of cars racing around here today. Myself choosing the Lexus, the car I'm most comfortable in, now that I can't race in the Mustang around this track. We're getting a decent run out of Forest's Elbow. Coming down the back straight, will we be able to look for a move? And someone in the distance has spun off. Very unfortunate for them. I think that's TX3 Chris. Very unfortunate. But the Lexus not having the grunt of the Supra, who has a bit of slipstream ahead, and having to tuck back in behind the Supra, waiting for a better opportunity to make a move. Currently in 9th position after that mistake from one of the drivers ahead. Let's see how much further up the grid we can get up. 2nd place at minimum was on the cards for qualifying had we not had that incident. But now cutting to the inside camera. Getting a decent run out of the corner, but not close enough to go for any sort of move going into turn 2 as Tossio forever ahead. Also with slipstream, so unable to close up that much to him. A decent run through turn 2, closing up ever so slightly to this train of cars. It seems 5th place just holding up an entire gaggle of cars behind him. Very difficult to overtake around this track as we slam into the wall a little bit, trying to react to the Italian ahead slamming into the wall himself, but not losing too much momentum. And in fact, in that impact, Tossio forever ahead has picked up a 1-second penalty. That is crucial in this race. As we saw earlier, it was very difficult to overtake the Italian in a straight line. That's going to make the job a hell of a lot easier, as a 1-second penalty around here costs you a lot more than 1 second. And now coming through Forest's Elbow again. We'll cut to the TV cameras. And as you can see, coming towards the penalty zone where the Italian ahead is going to have to serve his penalty. He's off the racing line, and it's an easy move as he has to slow down massively along the main straight. Now coming up towards the next few corners, trying to close up to the next guys ahead. Obviously this a massive recovery job, having to come from 12th position after knowing that we have the pace for more. Slowly closing that gap between Thunderstorm and the best co ahead, Frenchman. Riding the curb on the exit of turn 1. Just as you want to do, you don't want to ride it too much as there's grass on the outside of that curbing. Now cutting back to the onboard camera. Braking just after the 100 metre board, about halfway through the pathway on the left-hand side of the track. Closing up to the two ahead. But coming into this next corner, you're going to see us run slightly deeper, tap of the wall there. And when you just get outside of those white lines, it absolutely wrecks your momentum and you just get sucked into the wall. Looking behind, we have Momos 91, really closed up after that turn 4 accident that we've just had. So now we're going to have to try to push to get away from the people behind and catch back up to the guys ahead. We know we've got the pace, as we've had it all race long so far. And through this section already, building up a little bit of a gap to the cars behind, seemingly breaking the slipstream of Momos behind. And closing up to 6th and 7th respectively. And currently a comfortable 8th position. Looking in the mirror, the Frenchman behind not close enough to be in the slipstream right now. The two ahead going side by side. Could this result in an incident? It doesn't look so. Both of them keeping it on track. The chase, a very difficult corner to go side by side in. As quite often you will see incidents going to happen there. People running way too deep, going onto that grass on the outside the corner. Or in fact, clipping their tyre on the grass before the corner has even happened. You can see anything happen at the chase. We're currently closing right back up to the two guys ahead. Lap 4 of this race, we're almost halfway through now. And currently right in the slipstream of Mathieu. He's covering off that inside. We're looking around the outside, but we're not able to go for anything just yet. He's defended that quite well. Of course, going around the outside, very difficult, as another car going off track there, having a bit of an incident. TWR Jeremy. We had to go right against the outside wall there just to avoid him, as ghosted cars in this game do not 100% of the time work. You really want to avoid them just in case. But now riding the rear of the Italian ahead. There is literally nothing between us. Right on his backside. Trying to pressurise him into a mistake, as he is losing us time right now, as we're trying to just go faster and faster. Not able to do so, stuck behind him. Not getting a great run through the dipper, but hanging on nonetheless. Looking into Forrest's elbow. TWR Jeremy almost going for a move on us. But we've covered that off very well, and now in the slipstream of the Italian ahead. We'll have to see if anything can come of it. We are closing the gap ever so slightly as we go down this back straight. Having to lift a little bit just to make sure we don't hit into the rear of him. And not able to go for any sort of move just yet. This is where the pit window opens, however. Most people deciding to go in on lap 4 or 5. And as you can see, ducking into the pits, we are going for that undercut. And we'll have to see where we emerge after the pit stops. Currently in that pit. Not having to refuel at all. The car already has enough fuel to make it to the end of the race, right from the beginning. But just changing those tyres, as they're already looking a little bit worn, having done 4 laps on those softs. Now coming out of the pits with a nice 5-second gap to the guy ahead, meaning we can push on for this lap. And in that clear air, hopefully get a good undercut on the guys we were fighting earlier, who we know we're faster than. And hopefully making up a few positions. Getting a good run through turn 2. Riding that curb on the exit. But everything going right so far. Yellow flags up ahead. Could this cause a bit of trouble for us? Coming up the hill. At the top of the hill now, there is a ghosted car going very slowly. On the racing line, practically. We're going to have to look around the outside. Very close between us and the Spaniard. Nothing between us there. And looking ahead, another car got off. Momos in the gravel. Very unfortunate for Momos. Top of the hill, a very easy place to lose your car. Just get a tyre on the grass and you can be spat out into the wall. You're getting a decent run through Forest Sailboat. We're definitely making up time on the guys ahead right now, as we're past the halfway mark of this race. And we'll have to see where everyone else emerges. Most people coming into the pits this lap. There are a few no-stoppers, I do believe, who we may have to deal with later on in this race. With the rest of the one-stoppers now coming into the pits, fitting another set of soft compound tyres, sorry. And we'll have to see where we emerge once they've all come out of the pits. A 1:59.6 outlap. A decent outlap there. Could have been better had it not been for the slow cars that we had to make sure we avoided. As I said earlier, ghosting not 100% working in the game currently, so having to make sure we avoid the ghosts entirely. They're actually emerging in 5th position right now. So we have made the undercut work, and if we look ahead in 2nd place, that Mataman is still out on track. Now either that means he's coming in for a very late pit stop, or he's trying a no-stop. This could play a factor later on in the race, as we have been keeping a good gap to 3rd and 4th place right now. And a podium could be on the cards should anything happen with the slower car of Matt Mataman. Obviously a lot of fighting going on between them right now, and we're just in clear air, able to set fast lap after fast lap. Cutting to TV camera right now, just getting some nice shots of us going round the Mount Panorama motor racing circuit. The tyres starting to slightly wear. As on that 2nd lap you start to see a little bit of wear, mainly on the front right tyre. This track notorious for being a little bit worse on that front right tyre, especially in the Lexus. But closing up to the guys ahead nonetheless, and Matt Mataman could play a factor. He could slow them down, in fact, and that could allow us a podium later on in the stages. But right now in 5th position, we should be able to get 4th on the no-stopping Matt Mataman, who hasn't come into the pit, so it is confirmed that he is no-stopping. Still just trying to set some decent lap times, trying to keep the guys ahead honest, letting them know that if they make any sort of mistake, we are there to pick up the pieces. As Matt Mataman right in the mix with Aitor Laura, hopefully going to be slowing them up. Matt Mataman covering that inside line, as you can see further ahead of us. Slowing up the Spaniard on fresher rubber. But now, the Spaniard already having gone ahead, going up the hill. A very difficult place to overtake, so Matt Mataman's tyres must be absolutely shot. Cutting to the onboard camera, you can physically see how much we are closing up to Matt Mataman, not getting a very good run over the bump on the hill. But nonetheless, closing up to Matt Mataman on completely shot tyres right now in his Toyota Supra. As you can see, the gap just absolutely dissolving as he's not getting a great run through Forest Sailboat, tapping the wall slightly possibly, as we get an excellent run out of there and move our way up into 4th position, 1 spot off of the podium. Looking in the mirror, Matt Mataman seemingly bump drafting us. Matt Mataman, the one we did have an incident with in qualifying. I was on a fast lap and he was on an out lap. He didn't quite realise that I was on a fast lap. It's easily done. And there's no hard feelings between me and Matt Mataman. He's a great racer, as proven by there. But now, 2 laps remaining as we come across the start-finish straight. podium, one spot away from us. Could that make this recovery even more sweet? As we go down the first of the main straights towards turn 2. The two ahead very close to one another. Second place actually pitting the same lap as we did, while third place pitting on lap 5. So third place with slightly fresher tyres. And we'll be looking to challenge for that second place position. As we're just keeping things a little bit calm right now. We're in clear air. Trying to go quick, but not taking any risks. We've made a good recovery already. Up into 4th position, a net gain of 8 positions. And we don't want to ruin that by pushing too hard, making any sort of mistake. Now coming down the mountain, back onto the onboard camera. We have our sights set on the two guys ahead, GTA Creaser and Aitor Laura. The two of them very close to one another, going down this back straight. We'll have to hope for an instance if we want to get any higher, but in fact, we'll cut to a replay camera of the two of them racing right now. But as you saw there, a massive incident between second and third place, and GTA Creaser has just got into the grass and the gravel and is unable to recover from that position in the grass, and now we're up into a podium position. And not only that, the Spaniard ahead has a 5-second penalty for the incident. It was very unfortunate. It seemed Creaser not leaving quite enough room, and that allowed Laura to just go onto the grass ever so slightly, and there was nothing that they could really do about that. The car completely out of their control at that time. Very unfortunate that they got a 5-second penalty for that. But even more unfortunate for GTA Creaser, who was unable to keep the car on track after that incident. But that moves us up into second position. And it's the final lap of the race. We currently have around a 2.5 second gap to the Spaniard behind, tapping the wall through turn 6 a little bit as we're so excited. A net gain of 10 positions in this race. First place has just run away with the victory as we were unable to challenge, as we had to sieve our way through the traffic throughout the entirety of the race. But now, in second position, coming down the mountain. The last time we'll be coming down the mountain for this race. It's been a brilliant little recovery here. Getting a good run out of there, just trying to keep things clean and tidy right now, avoiding any penalties, anything like that. And from the lowly starting position of 12th place, it looks like we're going to be getting the second step of the podium here. Absolutely amazing racing here. Coming through the chase for the final time. Coming towards the final corner. And it looks like we're going to be getting second place. A brilliant job here from Thunderstorm myself. I am elated with that. But thank you everyone for coming to watch this video. This has been ERT Esports. Hope to see you next time.